Hi guys, welcome back to Homesteading with the Anga family in Kenya. My name is Liz.
And I'm Peter. Welcome.
Welcome. Yeah, today we are doing this episode of why we decided to homestead early in life. Many people have written to us in our emails, many people have written to us in comments, many people are so interested in this journey. We started this journey many years back. When our children were, I think when our children were so little. Ararang was 1 year old, Achel was 3 years old. And yeah, I can say that it has, there are so many things that led us to make that decision to move from the city, for him, who was also working in the city, and me from town. And we decided to come and make the country, or rather, some people call this place a village, and come and make a home here. There are so many reasons why we decided to do that, and today we're going to share some of them with you guys. We will not be able to go through all of them in this episode, so let's try and cover as much ground as we can during this series. If you will be interested for us to continue giving more reasons, yeah, maybe we can share. You can share in the comment section, and we will see about that. But reason number one why we decided to get into homesteading life is I will be looking down a lot because we have our notes, so I'll have to keep on checking. Excuse my eye contact at some point. Yeah, the reason why we chose it's because after we sat down, researched, and we just felt like something was really missing in our life. We felt something was a bit off, and we sat down and we prayed about it. And God, when we were living in the city, and there's some point when we were not just happy with the trajectory our life had taken, and we prayed, and God showed us that it is His ordained way to live. Yeah, the reason why we chose to do homesteading is because it is how God ordained human beings to live on earth. Yes. You will find that in the book of Genesis from the beginning. He told man to have dominion over all his creation, the fish in the birds in the air, the fish in the sea, and over all the crawling things that are found on earth. From the book of Genesis chapter 1 verse 28, that's where you find all that. Then God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth, filling the earth, govern it, subdue it. I mean, just have dominion over the work of my hands, the creation. That is what God told man, and everything that crawls on earth. Verse 28 says, and then you replenish the earth. What does that mean? What does it mean to replenish the earth? That command means to make full. To replenish the earth means to make full, to satiate, to fill the space, to fill the void, to attain fullness, from the English Oxford Dictionary. And apart from that, as you can see from the previous verses, it says God created and everything was good. But then God says you replenish the earth, meaning it wasn't destroyed before, because He said it is good, meaning it wasn't destroyed before. When He says to replenish, it means it was void. There are places that were not filled. That's why He says go and multiply and fill the earth and govern it. How will you govern the earth if you are not there? How will you govern the earth from a position where you're not living on the land? I don't know. How will you replenish it? How will you subdue it in a good way? Subduing doesn't mean in a, what is it called, in a destructive way. How will you govern everything that crawls on land if you're not living on land? So when we learned about that, and this is something that we discussed by ourselves and prayed about it, and God showed us, yeah, this is what God intended for man. In the beginning, He gave Adam lands to cultivate. He gave Adam animals. He gave and all the fruits and the trees to enjoy from it. So I believe God wanted human beings to have a level of freedom where they could have their own food, and be able to just enjoy walking on earth and
to their personal touch.
Exactly. We are supposed to fill the earth, and I think to some extent, I'm letting that noise disappear. You find that this idea of go and replenish the earth, meaning to fill it up, it's like God didn't like when the earth was void. Even you can see, even from the beginning, it says he looked and the spirit was searching on the earth, and deep darkness was all over the earth, and the earth was void. And what did God do? He started speaking and creating. There's something about empty space that gets to God's skin or under God's skin or something, because he wants the places to be full, multiply and govern. Even in the beginning, you can see he didn't like the place to be void, and he keeps on saying replenish the earth. It should not be an empty space. It should be a place full of life, a place full of beauty, a place full of enjoyment. People are enjoying. You are eating as you're replenishing. You're not destroying, just taking from the earth, grabbing from the earth, and eating everything. Even worms cannot get anything. You're destroying everything left, right, and center. Even insects should be a lot in the earth. They are destroying even the bees. There are no bees. There are no these things, the ones that come and destroy the bumblebees. In some places, because when they land on plants, they find so much toxins, so much pesticides that God did not want that. God wanted us to replenish, to make full everything that was on earth. If there were bees, let there be a lot of bees because of you being there, because of us being here. If there are earthworms, let there be a lot of earthworms, because God wanted the earth to be full of every beautiful thing that he created, not to kill everything and destroy everything in our quest for material gain and in greed. Yeah, so that was reason number one why we wanted to homestead, because it is how God intended for man to live a healthy life, a wholesome life, a life full of all senses. You live a life where all senses are being stimulated. Your eyes are seeing beautiful things. You pass by, you touch the earth, you smell the earth, you smell the rain. Oh God, every sense is being stimulated, and God created that every part of the body can be therapy can be found in every aspect of the senses. 5 senses, we've been told there are 5 senses, but it could actually be more. So there's so much therapy in just being on the land. That is reason number one, wholesome living that God ordained for man to live. Number 2.
Okay, now I would like to talk about what I've called scam of long distance farming. Now, we got this farm in the year 2010, and we moved in here in 2015. Now, during the 4 years in between, this is what we engaged in, long distance farming. We were living in the town, urban center, in the town nearby, and we had a worker here on the farm, and we thought, good, now we'll have this nice farm here. We will have someone producing for us all sorts of crops, all sorts of animals, and we just drive in on Friday evening, Saturday, carry these nice fruits, vegetables, meat. Oh, it was a nice dream. That's what we thought we'd be doing. Now, those 4 years, this place became a bottomless pit where our money was just going into. We bought all sorts of chicken. We used to bring, we were bringing the local chicken, not the commercial one. We brought chicken, we brought some goats, we brought even some dogs. We were just getting reports, they are doing very well. Now they need this medicine, they need this, bring seeds, give me money for these seeds. Hey, they need this. The water bill is this and this.
Yeah.
Wow. We need to clear this place for tractor.
Oh yes.
Yes,
oh,
we
my goodness.
gave him so much, and at the end of it, he'll just bring for us a few mangoes and a few coconuts from the original trees that were here, not what he has produced. And the chicken, I remember one particular year when he was telling us, now there are over 100 kienyeji chicken, for chicken lovers.
Yeah.
if you have 100 kienyeji chicken, you are like, I know for the month of December celebration.
I had a menu. I prepared a menu, guys. We have 100 chicken. Let me make a menu for deck. Oh my goodness.
So we come.
Chicken for breakfast.
Yeah.
Chicken for lunch. Chicken for dinner.
And walk around with drumsticks. Imagine that. Anyway, so we come, and the guy tells us they died.
Yeah.
There was just, I think, one mama hen with 3 or 4 chicks. He said they died. Wait. They died and you didn't tell us anything? That is a really big blow to us. So I think from that evening onwards,
yeah,
we just realized this is not working out.
It's a scam.
It's a scam.
Long distance farming was a scam to us.
Yes. If you are not going to wake up in a place and look at it and see what needs to be changed, what needs to be done,
and put your ideas in it,
put your ideas
and
in
correct this within a week, because
it's very difficult. Maybe some people have managed to make it work, but
we would
for
love
us,
to learn.
Yes, we would love to learn.
We would love to learn how
it
you do long distance farming
and successfully benefit more than you are inputting into it. So that really discouraged us, and we began to look for an alternative way to do it, because we really wanted to get from the land. We wanted to gain from the land that we had, but it was difficult doing it from afar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, you've heard Peter say it is. Yeah, actually, it was a scam. It's because of health reasons why we chose to homestead. These health reasons. This is a whole topic that I can take forever on. Our health was not in very good state. We struggled with various things, yeah, including infertility. I was badly anemic myself. My children and us, we were so allergic to so many things. We were allergic even to pollen. The children were allergic to proteins and I mean dairy. All manner of allergies. I was allergic to groundnuts. That was just, our bodies were just in a constant state of inflammation, both us and the children. So our health were not really so nice, because we had spent time in town. Me too. Yeah, the kind, when we looked back and see the kind of food that we were consuming, I can say that our bodies were so malnourished, and we lacked vital minerals, vital elements for the proper being of the body.
And when you say malnourished, not for lack of eating, but rather from eating empty food.
Yeah.
Rather,
yeah, exactly. Thank you so much for that. For eating empty food. So we struggled a lot with so many health issues. Yeah, but the thing that hit us the most, other than the allergies, was the infertility. That really hit us so much. And so what did we do? As we have been groomed, we decided to start following the experts. And that was the biggest mistake I have ever done. Why am I saying that? I still get pained having to remember all the treatments that I was subjected to correct infertility. And there's this notion that it's women who are infertile. Yeah, so you start carrying the burden already. Mentally you start carrying the burden already, even before you have been told that it's actually you. It could even be your husband, but you have started carrying the mental, because it is like, in most cases they say it is women who start getting the brunt of infertility. So I got that myself. I was put on some drugs that really like messed me up. I didn't even have a proper life. I mean, my hormones were just everywhere, and when hormones are everywhere, the symptoms, oh my goodness, it was chaos in my body, basically. And that time my husband is having it smooth and easy, until I said enough is enough. Maybe it's the one. So I said, I'm not going to take these drugs anymore. No. After all, these drugs have been made by things that were found in nature. I don't know if I'm wrong. I am not wrong. So I am going to research until I am taking back my power again of my body from the health experts. Fine. We salute them. We I totally respect that profession, but there's some point where you have to be responsible to do your own research. I had not done research. We were just groomed to trust the experts and to trust blindly. I'm waiting for that noise to pass. Yeah. So we were trusting blindly. Everything we were being told, okay, this treatment is not doing well. It's not, you're not responding well to it. So far, we've not been successful. We are upping the dose. Oh, you remember when it was upped?
Yeah.
So my it was upped. Peter's not taking any drug at all. Yeah, it is me. And I said, no, enough is enough. I can't live like this anymore. I have tried. I've gone to the expert. I've done my part as a person to get help. Now let me take this power back and do what I'm able to do now as a person, because this is my body and I know what I'm feeling. Yeah. So I took charge of the situation, and I took charge of my body, and I took charge of our bodies, and buried myself in research. I researched, I read. You remember?
So much.
I read. I think that time I would just have been a gynecologist or something. At that, I read day and night. I read how to get rid of all the toxins I'd put in my system because of wanting to repair things that maybe were not even damaged, so that I could get children. Yeah. So I researched a lot on how to naturally correct the infertility, and we just realized that it wasn't a big issue. God, with so much research and prayers, God led us to natural eating and getting medicine like chanka, like chanka, things that are found in natural in nature, and they are not adulterated in any way,
Not processed.
and they can cure and heal the body. Yeah. So we altered a lot of our foods to include foods that high nutritional content, that focused mainly on building and repairing our broken bodies. By that time, my body was basically broken because of what I'd put in it. Yeah, and most of it had to be organic because, as I've told you, I'd put a lot of toxins. Yep. So we went into natural healing, the natural way, organic way, and within 3 months. Can you imagine, with after total overhaul of our food and natural treatments of herbs, within 3 months, we were expectant. 3 months, we were expectant. Yeah, talking about Ashere and Arereng, who had so many allergic reactions, we couldn't even travel. It wasn't easy to travel because we go to this hotel. You remember they vomited. They used to eat, and it was so terrible. We've checked in. We've just had dinner. That night, a doctor is called because my children have had serious intolerance to butter, to soup that was made using butter. And you remember that time? Yeah. And the children were sick. Both Asheri and Ararang were sick, and the doctor had to be called in the middle of the night. And I wondered, what kind of life is this? What life is this? We have to go somewhere, and you must work with a diet in a hotel. I said no. I have to do something. I really, 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 we had to do something. Yeah. So again, we researched again, and we saw how to change, to alter all that imbalance in their bodies. And through the grace of God, God revealed so much knowledge on how to change it. And today they can eat anything.
Yeah, basically anything.
Anything, and they don't get any reaction. Anything. Even the peanut allergy that I had, because of eating groundnuts, it completely healed. Completely. Why? Because we came and we started implementing a kind of diet whereby the body was not the body wasn't getting inflamed anytime there was a foreign how can I say it? A foreign substance introduced. So all those inflammatory cells, let me use that word lightly, were changed, and our healths were restored when we started living here. Actually, all this trouble we used to go through when we were living in town, but the moment we started living here and we took charge of our foods, from organic vegetables, organic meats, organic, basically everything organic, the first year, our bodies totally restored the balance. Inflammation completely healed. And yeah, that was another reason why we chose to homestead, so that we could get back our health and have a life that was dignified and have a life that was fulfilling. That is reason number 3. Reason number 4.
I would like to talk about cost of a homestead in the rural setup and one where you have a house in the upmarket suburb in a town. Now, like I said earlier, that was our plan, to have a home in the upmarket area within this town. We love this town and we've chosen here. So when we looked for a property, we already had this one. That was, like I said earlier, we acquired this in 2010.
Yeah.
But now in the year 2013, 2014, there, we were looking now for our own now in the town setup. Now, the cost of that, it's crazy, because what you could buy for let's say about like 1 acre, what you could get for 1 acre in the town setup, in this rural setup here, you could almost end up with maybe like 30 acres or even more, depending on the amenities available. And that is a very big discrepancy. And still our hearts were set towards that line anyway. We were like, okay, let's compromise. We can just do something with this 1 acre. Yeah. So we identified a place. We had the land agent, or let's say real estate broker, who was doing the deal for us. We identified one particular place that was going for about, he told us it was a 1.8 million Kenya shillings.
Yes.
So we said, okay, fine, let's get it. So we got the money, and on the day when we went to do the deal,
to sign the contract,
this seller just looked at me in the eye and said, I've changed my price.
Yeah.
Now 3.5 million. And because you are such a young couple, I like you guys, okay, I'll give you for 3.2. We were knocked back. And we were like, okay, fine, we can't afford that now. So our dream place just went up in smoke.
Just like that.
So anyway, we didn't give up. We got to another one as well. And we identified it. It was the cost was still about in our initial budget.
Yes.
On the day again when the deal was to be finalized, the guys were coming from Nairobi. Unfortunately, I think that's the time there was this terrorist attack.
Is it
Dusit or the Westgate? I think it was Westgate. Yeah. And unfortunately, the seller got killed within that place.
He died. So we were to meet them on Sunday, and then on Saturday, it was on Saturday, the man died.
The man died there.
And we were ready to meet them on Sunday. We take over the place, pay and take over the place.
So
that was really sad.
Sad.
We felt so devastated. Yeah.
So that another plan just went up in smoke like that.
Yeah.
We didn't give up. We tried another one. Now this one was even more ridiculous now in our own thinking. Now this was now more expensive place now, but much smaller.
Much,
this was now an
it was in a very expensive
prime location. Prime location.
We would have been Naomi Campbell's neighbor in Kenya.
So on the day again, it happened. I was working. It was it was on a Friday. So I got so held up at work that day, so we couldn't go as we had agreed with the seller.
Yeah.
So we got there on Saturday morning, and he says, you know what? Someone came and paid for the place yesterday.
On Friday evening.
On Friday evening,
when we were to meet with him,
someone else paid for it. Anyway, we had been committing everything to prayer anyway. So we said, God, just lead us in this. And that's when our hearts began warming up to the farm now where we are living. It had already been along with us. We are like, maybe we are looking for something that we already do have.
Yes.
And that's when it happened. Yeah, the story I was talking about, the chicken. It coincided around that. when we came and we got so disappointed, and you're like, great, we are searching for a new place and
we have a place and we're not trusting the worker there. Why can't we just live there?
Yeah, this guy is making a life there, and
he was enjoying.
And
he was enjoying our chicken. He was enjoying the mangoes, the coconuts.
We said Apana. Now let's go there. So that's how this dream here was born.
Out of pain. It was actually out of serious pain. The day was so disappointed with that chicken.
Yeah. So everything, every idea and road now began leading here. And that's when we started to get our act together.
Yes.
And instead commit the money we were going to acquire this quarter of, an eighth of land.
It was actually an eighth, yes.
Yeah, it was an eighth of piece of land. We said, okay, now let's come and just do it here.
Yes.
We'll be happy. Yes. So cost and one event leading to another and everything, it led us here, and it's a decision we've not regretted. We are happy.
Very happy. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think in all this I've learned to, in choosing a place, a homestead, you have to let God lead you. Because you can go to a place and it can be a very bitter place. It can be a Mara. You remember that the story of Mara? Bitter water. It can be bitter. If God does not lead you, it could not just, it can be the land, it can be people. Your neighbors can be so nasty. It can be the devourers found there. Devourers can be so many things. Yeah. How to choose a place to get a homestead, I think we will have to do that talk. Isn't it? We can do we can do that. Yeah, so reason number 3, the last reason, mine, number 3 is we wanted to be intentional on how we raised our family, especially our children. We wanted to expose them to this kind of lifestyle because we were privileged to be exposed to this lifestyle. You grew up in the village, in the country, with your mother, with your siblings. Most of my time I grew up with my grandmothers, grandparents, and I saw the way my grandmother used to manage her home, and my grandmothers both sides, and I really admired that. For once, when people used to say they want to be a big person in the office, a corporate ladder, climbing the corporate ladder, that has never been my dream. I just admired the way my grandmothers lived, that organic life where they had like 50 kitchens. They can cook here today, tomorrow. I thought that was so rich. To me, I thought that was so rich, and that is what I aimed for. Yeah, so both Peter and I had so much exposure. And we had as I have said, we wanted our children to have that exposure hands-on. Hands-on. Not to be told, not to read about it. I remember Peter once told me, if you are not doing the current career you are doing now, you would have loved to own livestock.
Yeah. He had this idea of owning large herds of cattle, sheep, goats. You look at them and you're like, yes. And then you remember that there's this Maasai we engaged to in Taveta. He was telling us, we went to Amanyata there, and these guys had a lot of cows and all that. Then he laughed at us literally. We were staying in a nearby resort.
Yes.
So he was telling us, okay, now look at these cows. He said each of them is about 40,000.
Yes.
So he asked me, now do the maths. What do you think I own here? I took one quick glance. I pitied myself.
And that time we had spent the money in the resort. You remember?
Yeah. And he was like, okay, fine, you go to the city and enjoy yourself. But it really made me see the folly of everyone being cramped together in one space, competing with each other just over there. Yeah. There's so much space out there. If you are willing, you can actually expose yourself to much more. Yeah, and talking about exposure.
Yes.
And the deliberate style with which you wanted to bring up our children. I remember when Acheri was young, she
Yeah.
wouldn't want to play in mud or sand.
Grass.
You place her on grass, she'll just freeze. And I mean, she was just used to, tile, neat,
Carpet.
indoors, and yes, that one she'll be at home. But take her to walk on grass or on shrub, the child would just refuse.
Right.
And it used to pain me. I was just like, now, how are you going to connect to nature? And that's when we felt, we need to create an environment where this is an everyday thing which she meets, she touches, she does, or, like that. And that really made us feel the urge and have an urgency and the speed with
Yeah.
which to want to get out of living in the city.
Yeah. And then I love celebrating people when they are still alive. That's what I've come to learn. My auntie, I stayed with my auntie. She welcomed me into her house, Auntie Lydia, and I stayed with her. And she lives in a beautiful, beautiful homestead. And I learned a lot. I admired, other than my grandmother's where I stayed with. I just looked at the way she kept her home so beautiful. Yeah. The place for cattle, the place for... And she had so much food. I remember staying there after my Form 4 exams. And I admired that. I kept on telling God, wow, this is what I would love one day. But I really didn't know how that would come to pass. So I was there, but God said, don't think I've brought you here to just look at to pass time. Here you are in, what is it called? Experience learning.
Yeah.
So I kept on seeing and studying how she was managing the homestead, how she was managing the cows, she was managing the her oranges and chicken, how she was doing business from home. And I really, she inspired me a lot. I can say she is my inspiration. And since I've also inspired other people, I can say that seed has blossomed into many more seeds. Yeah. And that is the beauty of one person just doing a good act to change something. When one person copies and another one copies and many other copies, and you're inspiration to many. So I stayed there for some months, a couple of months, and I really learned a lot. God made sure that my eyes were open to just learn what she was doing and how she was running her business from home. And I thank God for her. I really thank God for her, that by her standing up and living a certain way, she charted the path for many people. She was the trailblazer. She was the path maker, and she made it easy for me, that I knew what to do and I knew what to look for. I wouldn't have thought of us coming to stay in a place like this, in this county, where you can say the rain, this rain, there's no rain, you can't live there, there's no... But because I saw an example from her, and we used to visit her, and we saw how she managed and what she did to get water. I mean, I thank God that she was a role model. So I want to celebrate her when she's still alive, to know that she has touched life. She's had an impact on this earth, to me, and through me to others as well. So isn't it? Yeah. And to our children, she has impacted many generations. My grandmothers, I also salute them by just taking care of the sheep. I used to admire how they had a lot of fresh food, especially my auntie. There was always fresh orange juice. There was chicken. She would slaughter chicken, like 5, one go for dinner. One go chicken. You can have 3 chickens and put them in the grill, and we just eat chicken. And to me, I was just shocked. And juice, there was always orange juice in that house. I thought, this is so beautiful. There were fresh vegetables all the time. And I really enjoyed. My grandmothers too, they had so much food. They had so many. I think what I loved the most about my grandmother's place that made me want to be a homesteader was the number of kitchens they had. I thought these were the most richest people. You can cook on open fire, you can cook on jiko, you have the outdoor kitchen, you have the... I thought that was so good, and that is what birthed the desire to want to live in a place where I can decide to cook under a tree today. I can sit under the tree. Like you're not contained in a sitting room only. You can sit under that tree. You can, and I enjoyed that growing up at my grandmother's. And I said this is a wholesome life we had, even if it was the same growing up. When we got back to visit our mother in the village, it is so much fun having to stay with my mother-in-law, cooking here, fish here, and in another kitchen they are cooking atapa, in another place they are cooking. And it is so nice being in the village and getting exposed to all that. I really enjoy seeing her balancing all these jikos in different places. To me, that is what I wanted. And because we had enjoyed that growing up, hanging around animals, we wanted our children to experience that. Wake up, just chase the chicken. Wake up, chase the dogs. Wake up, play with the animals and eat fruits off the tree. Azuri can climb tree and get mulberries and guavas. That is what gives us so much joy, and that is the reason why we decided we want to homestead, so that the beautiful experiences we had growing up, also our children will take over in getting inspired
and have a chance to experience that as well.
And it will transcend generations.
True.
So we wanted the trajectory of their lives to be set on a certain path by the grace of God. So I think, are you done?
Yes, I think.
Guys, so I think we have addressed some of the issues why we chose to homestead. I hope this video has come forth. It will be a blessing to you guys. For those who have written to us in our email saying they want to get out of the city, to get out of the urban, to go and start life in a farm, in a homestead, in a whatever, we wish you all the best. You've wanted us to tell you what made us the benefits. By telling us the choices we made, I think that is also benefits. But maybe we can talk about more benefits later. We wish you all the best. Please, I can advise someone, if God has put that in your spirit, go with it. And I'm sure He will make the paths smooth. He will make the paths straight. Yes. And He will give you wisdom on how to handle things like security. There are things like that, actually.
You have to consider that.
There are things like that, security, because if you're going to the homestead away from the urban, there's so many things: thefts, security, danger, things like that. And just being away from, you can call it civilization, has also things you have to think about. Provision of services, water, electricity, depending on if you want to go off-grid or you want to be on the grid. As we decided to go completely off-grid when we started here, we had no source of water, no source of power at all. We had to come up, to be resourceful in all these things. Our security was next to zero. I learned how to pray. I was an intercessor.
Come on, I was there.
To protect us. I was praying for you as well as you are thinking.
God watched over us.
God watched over us. Yes, you are there,
and
of course.
He still does so.
It's true. But
we don't put our faith in just, let's say, put this fence, I have this security company, I have this, whatever it is. There's only so much that can protect you.
Some people have been marked outside their gate in this town, just outside as they're getting. Those are stories we've had. So, and then we came to a place where there were snakes. Oh goodness, hey, snakes. Every time my child was going out, it was time for prayer. It was time. I tell you, all those things have been are things that you have to consider. The place where we bought land now, in the other place, even wild animals, hyenas, you saw us, there was a puff adder that was killed. So all those things, that place is still new. So, sorry, I had a flu, that's why I'm coughing. I'm now healing anyway. So that is why, those are the things that you have to think about before you build a place where you will store your things for safety. There's so many things to consider. But all the same, the journey is fulfilling. The journey is very nice, and God has called you to it. God is what wanted this for humanity. God will provide wisdom, knowledge, and resources
Yes.
to make this life beautiful. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. See you in our next video. If you love our content, please remember to like
Give
and
comments.
yeah. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.